Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that nice welcome. Wow. Thank all of you for coming today. I don't know that I've ever spoken to a larger group than we have here today. So thank you. Today is a day important in my life. I don't know that it's any more important than the 70th or the 73rd, when we had an opportunity to go back to Iwo Jima for a visit. It naturally brought back a lot of memories, some good, some bad. But I am very humbled to stand before you today. I'm grateful for the opportunity of sharing with you some of my thoughts. 75 years ago, at this moment in time, thousands of Marines and Navy corpsmen were laying their life on the line to capture a very small piece of ground that we now know as Iwo Jima. Most of us who were involved wondered why so many Marines were there to capture this very small piece of rock. We didn't know its significance at the time. I'm sure that those in charge did, because of the future planning that they had for the island. But we in the lower ranks had no concept of what the purpose really was, to take that very small piece of ground. We had just finished the previous July and August taking the island of Guam back from the Japanese that had taken it from us in 1942. It was about 19 miles from one coastline to another. And this one, it was 5 miles from one end of the island to the other. The only thing we knew, we had to win. We had to take the island. Today, less than 0.1% of Americans are serving in our armed forces to protect America and to protect all of us. There are a great number of Americans that really do not realize there's a war going on. That our loved ones are being lost and wounded. They'll tell me from the news that in Afghanistan, the number is now around 20,000 wounded and killed. That's about the same number. On Iwo Jima, who were wounded, in addition to almost 7,000 who sacrificed their lives. Those serving in our armed forces today have the very same devotion and a purpose that has always existed in America: to protect the very precious values that we have, that we live every day. Those purposes of freedom and protecting our way of life says, in effect, when that individual raises their hand and takes that oath, you may take my life, but you cannot take my freedom. Sometimes we ask a very simple three-letter word: why? Why? Very often we have difficulty finding that answer. A father who was asked that very same question, why, who had lost a son. He answered it this way: I am compelled to answer that question that has twisted inside me like a dagger since the moment that I knew you were gone. Did we not, it asks, we the parents, point you toward what eventually happened? Did not we, out of our own unqualified love of country and rigid definition of duty, realize that that could occur? We deliberately cultured in you the currently unfashionable belief that each person is responsible for themselves. That man is the fabricator of his own consciences, his own consequences. Not to be laid off on poverty or gender or associates of influence. And you listened well. You accepted yourself with what you had and granted yourself no excuses. From the first, we taught you reverence for the flag and for the law, our traditions and institutions. And there was never a doubt that you would enlist. Nor was there much doubt, in view of your determination to make the first team, that you would serve America. One belief that I have personally arrived at a long time ago was that it's not so much what you do in life. The most important is what you do with life.